join thousands of NFT traders who already start their day on CryptoSlam.
Will a 30% tax on digital assets push crypto holders and traders out of India?
People were expecting some kind of regulation for a while now. Having taxation on cryptocurrency is obviously the starting point, but definitely it is a little bit concerning for everyone in crypto.
Are blockchain and DeFi products set to change the face of the Indian financial system? And how will Polygon deploy the war chest of $450 million it has just raised? Coming up on Word on the Block, Jaynti Kanani, co-founder of Polygon Technology, joins in to dive deep into those topics and a whole lot more. Web 3.0 is calling, but is India, a country of almost 1.4 billion people, listening? And are its lawmakers and powers that be able to understand the potential embedded in digital assets? Welcome to Word on the Block, the series that takes a deeper dive into blockchain and all the emerging technologies that shape our world at the intersection of business, politics, and economy. It's what we cover right here on Forkast.News. I'm Forkast Editor-in-Chief Angie Lau. Well, today we are in conversation with Jaynti Kanani, co-founder of Polygon, a decentralized Ethereum scaling platform that originated in India. Lots of things to discuss. Thanks for joining in. Jaynti, it's great to have you.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Angie. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Okay, let's dive right in. There is just so much drama. Can I just say drama happening in India from both an innovation angle, which you're spearheading, the incredible take-up of cryptocurrency, and then you got the legislators and the policymakers kind of trying to press on the brakes. I want to dive right in. The Indian government's recent decision to impose a 30% tax on all crypto and digital asset transfers got investors worried a little bit. You couple that with the recent regulatory uncertainty, and a lot of people are concerned that it will lead to investors and crypto talent flocking overseas, getting out of India. How do you see the crypto tax affecting Indian blockchain builders like yourself?
Government was working on regulations, policies on cryptocurrencies for a while now. We have seen like people talking about taxation, banning on cryptocurrencies in India, and we have seen some drafts in Parliament, going through. So definitely, people were expecting some kind of regulation for a while now. Having taxation on cryptocurrencies obviously the starting point. If you see US, Singapore, every country is like kind of thinking about like how to regulate this market effectively, right? There are two ways to do that. Like either you will just ban it outright, suppress the whole cryptocurrency market, and kind of don't regulate and just ban it, right? And the second one is kind of you regulate it in such a way that you actually promote the innovation through the cryptocurrency, because obviously this cryptocurrency is a crypto/blockchain Web3 is definitely a big market, big opportunity for future for every technology you have seen so far. So definitely the second point of for India is because India is a big country in a way in technology. So definitely India has potential to become kind of a lead in the cryptocurrency or blockchain or any other tech, right? So government obviously kind of will figure it out like how to regulate it, but I think to start with something, I think they kind of impose their taxation, but definitely it is a little bit concerning for everyone.
I mean, to your point, it is a very fine line. There needs to be some regulatory imposition on space that is growing fast and furious, but how much is really the question. I mean, you're really one of the talent stories coming out of India. Polygon is one of those ideas that took shape very, very quickly. Tell us about just what you're building at Polygon. What vision do you see for the space? And what kind of challenges and what kind of frustration are you experiencing now?
Yeah, so obviously, we started in 2017. Our goal was to scale blockchain, right? So if you see current blockchain space, Ethereum, Bitcoin, biggest blockchains out there, if you know, right? It cannot scale, right? They have some technical challenges versus security versus decentralization, where they are actually lacking on the scalability part. So that's where we come and we scale those blockchains. So for example, if you want to build some protocol, some finance app, or some gaming or NFT applications on top of blockchain, it will cost you a lot of money to send a transaction, to mint NFTs, or simple transfer money to one person or other person, right? So we solve that problem. We make the transfer very easy, very cheap for people to use that. Now anyone can go and create their own NFTs. Artists can kind of create their own NFTs on the Polygon blockchain, very kind of a fraction of the USD, right? So our goal is to kind of scale blockchain for everyone. And if you see, like, in Polygon, we have 7,000 plus applications right now live on Polygon. We have making 4 million transactions per day. And what it costs, like, it's just $0.0001 to make a transaction on Polygon, right? So it's very cheap, right? Very easy. So that's what we kind of wanted to scale this.
And I think that speed and quite frankly, the low cost, which actually does help you scale what has fundamentally and classically been experienced by developers, is high gas fees on Ethereum, and so that is clear. How much did India have a role to play in your ability to aggregate your team and to build that business from a people point of view?
When we started, we were struggling to get funding from India, by the way. So we went out there. We got the funding from Coinbase and Binance, which are the biggest exchanges right now in the cryptocurrency space, in the blockchain space. We talked few applications outside India, in Argentina, which is Decentraland, which is a metaverse platform right now. They basically agreed to build on Polygon when we launch it. So we had customer, we had money. Now we are kind of we had little bit less money, to be honest. We wanted to kind of expand our team to everywhere. Currently, we have everywhere in the world. We have decentralized team, 300 people of team. But when we started, like, we had a kind of very small funding. Our cost center belongs to India right now. We have few people in India building the protocol. When we started, like, we kind of hired a few interns in India from the colleges and kind of trained them to build the protocol. We have a bunch of people from US, from Serbia, from Barcelona, Spain, and of course, like, Vietnam. So all those people kind of came together and kind of created this protocol. So definitely, obviously Indian people contributed to that, but I don't want to kind of disregard the other people's efforts here. Yeah.
Absolutely. I guess the point is there is an opportunity to expand Polygon in terms of talent and reach out to talent. So when you put a 30% tax on digital assets, what does that mean for just how supportive that move or not supportive that move might be, and what the real life implications would be on someone who works on your team in India?
Yeah, I mean, definitely currently we are not doing any kind of cryptocurrency related transfers in India. We pay them fiat currency because the regulations are not supportive of the. If a government kind of imposes the 30% tax, then definitely tax is needed, but it also needs some kind of different rules, like where it should apply. For example, let's say if you're building the company out of India right now, let's say if you start your company cryptocurrency, or I would say Web3 company in India, what will happen is that the founders, you get the tokens from like shares, right, from the company. And if it also kind of every transfer imposes 30% on top of that and 1% on the source, it will very unfair for the creators.
I want to hear all about what you are building, Jaynti. It is incredible what we have seen so far from Polygon, but there is so much more. Time for a quick breather, but when we return, we're going to talk more about decentralized finance and its limitless potential. After the break, will Indian banks venture into DeFi products and the metaverse in 2022?
Very unlikely, to be honest, because it's very hard then to understand DeFi product first of all, then to understand like how blockchain works, how what are the tokens.
And later, why is Polygon planning an ecosystem DAO when Word on the Block returns?
Forkast.News is your gateway to all things blockchain, breaking down and breaking through the noise with the people who know it best and why it matters. We go to where the action is, from Asia to the world. Forecast is the most reliable source of intellectual discourse and insight that informs, educates, and bridges the gap between the blockchain industry and the mainstream. The future is being built, and Forkast has it covered. This is Forkast.News.
Okay, welcome back. The high-paced development in decentralized finance is increasing the pressure to launch official digital currencies worldwide. As a result, Indian banks may not wait for more regulatory certainty around crypto. Why wait? But instead, launch DeFi products to take advantage of the costs. Welcome back, Jaynti Kanani of Polygon, co-founder, and this is really interesting. We talk about just the potential that you saw, how to scale Ethereum, how to get it to developers and builders, as you've said, and really accelerate the innovation. Well, now the institutionals are coming in, and it's almost as if they're not waiting for regulatory clarity either. Do you think Indian banks are likely to speed into DeFi products in 2022?
Very unlikely, to be honest, because it's very hard then to understand DeFi product first of all, then to understand like how blockchain works, how what are the tokens people are using, how it kind of affect the community-based products, how the Web 2 is different than Web 3. They need to understand like how all those things works. I want to go back for a few months where RBI didn't kind of ban any kind of cryptocurrency related transactions on the bank account, and still banks were banning and blocking the account of users without any kind of notification from RBI. So I think they will wait for government to kind of create the draft of the regulations before they can kind of jump into the cryptocurrency market.
When you take a look at what's happening externally around the world, we are increasingly seeing financial institutions like JP Morgan, for example, launching a metaverse branch for its customers. We're seeing a lot of interest in the DeFi space, centralized finance, looking into DeFi and trying to figure out where the play is. There's a lot of people looking into it. And to your point, do you think that they've got the talent and the ideas that could possibly propel them into DeFi?
Yeah, so there are two things. Okay, so for normal Web 2 banks or for legacy banking system, they have two ways, two paths for them. One, they're just kind of denied cryptocurrency is there, not going to work, etc. Or they just adopt the cryptocurrency and go ahead with that and kind of adapt them very much, right? My point is that cryptocurrency is here to stay. Blockchain, Web3 is here to stay. So either you kind of just ignore them like Nokia did to smartphones, right? Or you just kind of go ahead like Samsung and kind of start with making your own smartphones, right? I think they have to understand that stubbornness won't work in this space, because this is basically the whole revolution is going on around, right, on Web3 and crypto. So they have to kind of adapt them. So I think JP Morgan did the amazing job where they can kind of started with the metaverse hype and kind of started with, okay, how they can play, how their bank can kind of play the part in the metaverse. So I think banks, financial systems should also start looking into in the cryptocurrency Web3 blockchain market. Otherwise, they will kind of go out of the market very soon.
That's absolutely right. If you can't join them, it's probably too late. Which goes back to the talent in India, which is extraordinary. What do you think is also India's contribution to building on DeFi, to the vision that you see for decentralized finance as it could shape the future of finance?
Yeah, so India has a talent, no doubt about that. We have like biggest IT companies in India's. We have like many unicorns. If you see in the last year, we have like 50 plus unicorns in India. So definitely India has an edge there. But India missed out the internet hype, smart contract hype, market. India missed that. And I think with cryptocurrency, there's another chance for India. This is very new. Cryptocurrency, crypto, Web3 is very new for everyone in the world. People are still figuring out what are the opportunities. And the second thing is that crypto Web3 gives everyone the same opportunity, right? It's you don't have to come from the wealthy family or wealthy country, right? You don't have to kind of need to raise billions of dollars, millions of dollars to create operations like operation heavy startups. Nothing, like you just need a laptop, you just need a internet and Twitter. You just go on the Twitter, you ping people, they will respond to you no matter where they are in the world, and they can help you. So that's the power of crypto Web3 world, right?
I want to hear more about this origin story, Jaynti. This is an incredible trajectory that we've been seeing.
Yeah.
And when we return, we're going to focus on Polygon, your story, and talk about also the recent multi-million-dollar fundraising when we come back.
On the other side, what upgrades does Polygon have in store? More when we come back.
Forkast.News is your gateway to all things blockchain, breaking down and breaking through the noise with the people who know it best and why it matters. The future is being built, and Forkast has it covered. This is Forkast.News.
All right, welcome back. Let's talk about Polygon here. Polygon raised about $450 million through private sale of your Matic token. Welcome back to Jaynti, co-founder of Polygon. You've raised this huge chunk of money, but to your point, once upon a time, it was just an idea, a dream, a laptop and an internet connection. I want to hear about the origin story of Polygon. In your personal story, why did you see this opportunity? Why did you go for it?
Yeah, definitely. So in 2017, I was in housing.com, the previous company of mine. I was an employee there as a data scientist. And then I was also doing side project. And one of them was to kind of create a betting platform for Game of Thrones. So I'm not sure like everyone knows that nowadays, but Game of Thrones was a big hit series on HBO where people kind of after each episode, people went out there on the internet and say, okay, who will die? What will happen to this character, etc.
The Red Wedding.
Yes. So I wanted to kind of create a platform where people can go and bet like small money, maybe $10, $15, and if you are right, you get the money, right? So I wanted to create that platform. And what happened that I wanted to integrate payment. And to do that, I need to kind of establish the entity. If I, let's say, establish the entity in particular region, for example, in India, then I'm limited by the regulations and the betting things in India. If I do like outside India, like it would be very complicated, right? So I thought like, let me look at this thing called Bitcoin, which is global currency people are talking about, and maybe I can integrate that so anyone in the world can use my platform, right, as a side project, right? So I thought about that. I said, okay, let me look at the Bitcoin. How do I integrate it? And then when I looked at Bitcoin, like people were also discussing about the scalability there. And at the same time, CryptoKitty, there was a famous applications on Ethereum blockchain called CryptoKitty. It happened and it kind of jammed the whole Ethereum blockchain.
It nearly brought Ethereum down.
Yeah. So I thought like, if you want to, this is amazing technology, by the way, right? If you want to build something on top of that, it should scale, right? Into late 2017, we started with the idea of scaling blockchain. And then kind of later, like Mihailo also joined our team as a co-founder, and we kind of started the whole multi-suite of product on top of blockchain to scale in different ways, where people can use in different technologies to scale their applications. So that's how we started Polygon. And initially, it was very difficult to raise.
Yeah.
like almost everyone rejected us because saying, okay, you are from India, you don't know how to build product. You
Wow.
never built product before. I think Coinbase and Binance put bet on us. We raised 5 million, and yeah, I think we are here right now with $450 million raise. Yeah,
Well, that was a great bet, and I'm
yeah.
sure there's a lot of people kicking themselves that they could have been in on the ground floor, and they just didn't know talent when they saw it. As you said, you raised nearly $500 million now through private sale of the Matic token. And the investment has now come from some of the biggest names out there. They're chasing you. It's Sequoia, SoftBank. We even have Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary buying in. So the question is, that's great and all. You have $500 million. What are you going to do with this war chest? What are you planning to build and expand into?
Yeah, so first of all, this is purely strategic round. We never needed the money because we have a token with very high valuation. But what we needed is kind of guidance on the next step. Like we are here, right? We were kind of started with a little bit lower than what we expect, and then we reached here. But what we want is top. We want to reach the top, right? So for that, what we need is that support from investors, advice from investors, and kind of now we are seeing Web2 startups, projects. So we needed some good names who can back us when we need support from, right? And having a SoftBank, Sequoia, and multiple other people on our back, no, it's very kind of, it makes us powerful in terms of on the papers, on everywhere, right? So let's say if you go to some uh, big companies and say, okay, we have built this product, we have a bunch of people betting on us, they also increase their confidence in a way. The second part is that obviously, we acquired multiple companies recently. If you see in the ZK space, we acquired Hermes, Mir, to make our tech stack very solid. And for them, we are expanding the team a lot. So we wanted to have some kind of money on the side to use that even if the bear market hits in the cryptocurrency market. And the third thing is that obviously, when we now we are hiring very key position. For example, we recently got Ryan from head of gaming, YouTube, as our Polygon Studio CEO. So those kind of hiring needs also kind of support from investors, backing from investors.
What's the best advice that you've gotten? And you can keep them anonymous or you could share credit, but what is the best advice that you've gotten so far from the investors that you've sought out for guidance and mentorship?
Yeah, definitely. Investors always give us their advice on multiple fronts. But the best advice in my life, to be honest, gave me when I was in college, there was a hostel I was staying, and the monk basically was there, and he basically said, aim higher. If you aim higher and if you miss, that's fine, but lower target is not acceptable at all.
Once upon a time, we were wondering if there was going to be a protocol to rule them all. Now it's a recognition that it's a multi-chain universe, that there's just going to be a number of protocols that are out there that are going to coexist with each other. Each has a different function. You're talking about creating the ecosystem. Is that a little bit arrogant or central thinking? What are your thoughts? Have you ever been accused of that?
No, I mean, so first of all, what we want is that definitely, while building this thing, so first of all, we started with a simple chain on top of Ethereum. We wanted to build only that because it was a big target for us to build at the time because we were small, we had a little bit funding, we were a newbie in the crypto, so it was a big target for us to kind of create simple L2 solution on top of Ethereum. And we built that and we realized that, okay, this is okay, but this is not going to scale if you want to build or bring billions people on top of that, right? But what we are targeting in the blockchain is everything else, like finance, right? Everything like lending, borrowing, finance, gaming, NFTs, and multiple other use cases, which is not possible out of blockchain. So we are targeting all those things on blockchain. And if you think about very small thing, like say one chain will solve everything, it won't, right? So we were kept thinking about it. How do we do that? How do we create a chain, multi-universe of blockchains, which scale the need of the blockchains for every applications in the world? A little bit arrogant there. We went out of our heads, but I think that is our goal for sure.
You're doing a lot of investment in ZK right now. Do you think that is the key to onboarding the next billion users, as you've said, to Web3? What is ZK technology, zero knowledge proof, for those kind of sitting back right now in our metaverse, in our audience, and they're excited to learn more?
Yeah, so I will just give you the example of ZK Tech is that it's a mathematical proof that you can say something is there without showing the data. For example, let's say I say I transfer some bunch of money to Angie, to you, without revealing to anyone else, like how it worked, where I transferred, etc. Right? You just prove that okay, I've done that transfer without revealing anything, and it is valid. Like I am not lying, we are not lying, you are not lying. It is verifiable with the proof on the blockchain. You can do that. So it can solve many problems. And why it can scale blockchain? Because blockchain has many limitations. For example, if I'm sending a transaction to you, all the nodes in the blockchain should have to verify that. So if you want to increase the volume of a transaction, the system will go slower, right?
Yeah.
Now with ZK, what you can do is that you can just provide a proof. Everyone just verifies it. Like they don't have to verify all the transactions. They just have to verify the one simple proof. That's it, and it's a milliseconds.
You know, I'd love to understand where you see Polygon going, why you introduced a decentralized governance structure for the protocol's development. You are introducing a DAO, I understand. How do you see this really fueling your next stage of growth?
Yeah, so there are many DAOs building on Polygon. That's what Polygon is, a platform, right? So you can build your own NFTs, DAOs, games, DeFi products on Polygon. Our goal is to kind of make sure the whole project kind of runs on the community base. Like people can kind of come without us, without our permission, go and deploy on the blockchain. Whenever the blockchain applications you use in the future, our target is to bring them on Polygon.
And you are also planning to launch Avail. Tell us about the Avail project and when is it expected to launch?
Yeah, so Avail is basically part of our roll-up, and we are launching it very soon. And so we are launching in DevNet in 2-3 months, and after we will kind of test it out and then testnet and mainnet in the next quarter or so. Yeah.
It goes back to your DNA, always aim higher, and from the heart and brain of a true data scientist, thinking and valuing, in my business, content is king. In your business, data is king. So this is absolutely part of your DNA. I truly appreciated and thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. Jaynti, it was a pleasure to have you on Word on the Block.
Thank you. Thank you, Angie.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us on this latest episode of Word on the Block. We talked to the blockchain industry leaders, the brilliant minds that shape this emerging technology. I'm Angie Lau, Forkast Editor-in-Chief. Until the next time.